no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I can tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my competition, never seeing them. I done trained my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be. Yeah.
Black Box Productions.
Snakewood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Clowns need to be in the circus. Putting these buckets on the turf, they defeating the purpose. The first to return when the enemy serves. Immediately on ease, these weenies be nerve dedicated to a section that didn't deserve us. It turned us into murderers and then the deserters. Number one lesson I learned in the pen: when you lose your respect, you can't earn it again. Smoke a lot, classified most faded. The local won't be satisfied till all his folks made it. This Cabbage Patch where he caught most of the damage at. Perhaps he know a magic plastic surgeon that can manage that. Ask me, I'm just a product of my habitat. Narcotic habits where they quick to let you have it at. Big homie talking about he need half that. I'm laughing at him as if my little bastard having that. Can you see the sign? Tell me who gon' lead the blind, why they lead the blind? Am I wrong cause I'm all about me and mine? Niggas better catch on, read between the lines. Evil times you believe, can you see the sign? Tell me who gon' lead the blind, why they lead the blind? Am I wrong cause I'm all about me and mine? Niggas better catch on, read between the lines.
In store today.
Why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong, or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
Quite profound. Once again, the same point, path of redemption that we spoke about with Kanye and the rest of the people amongst us. We all are an experience that none of us can quite dictate or determine. And there's pressures that everybody dealing with. And we just weeks ago would have put LeBron, based on the things he's been saying about Kyrie, in a class close to Charles and Shaq. And with that quick, I appreciate his presence, his position, and his sentiment. It's a 360 on my behalf. If he can stay on that side of these issues, which I have seen him stand up in times past, I believe he can be extremely effective in the struggle that we are experiencing. That was eloquent in my opinion, how at a press conference he was so, you know how much discipline, patience, and poise it had to take for him to field all the questions they normally gave him, and he waited till they were done with that portion, and then he had something to say, and he delivered that message. And when they tried to like insert response, opinion, perspective, he shut them down very calmly. Don't want to hear none of that. Look, I'm finna give y'all this, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Drop the mic. And he made a very pointed. I hope that word applies, but in my mind, for some reason, pointed is applicable. So he made a very pointed, profound statement. If y'all not familiar with Jerry Jones, has been recently exposed for being involved in. He's been photographed in the midst of a mob that was showing up at a location attempting to intimidate black students from attending a segregated school. There's reports he was 14. There was reports he was at the age of 15. However, I want you to be fully aware that Emmett Till passed at the age of 14. I want you to be fully aware that Jerry Jones is, I believe, 80 years old or approaching 80, similar to Bill Cosby. Stephen A. Smith has gone on record stating that he believes it's appalling that Jerry Jones is having to even answer to this participation in this mob based upon the time that has passed and his age. However, Stephen A. Smith has not stated what age would be a cutoff, how much time is okay before we just, like the credit system after 7 years, drop it off your record for being a member of a mob that was attempting to limit by force and intimidation our access to equality in America. What age? How much time, Stephen A. Smith? Because just right here upon this soil, I'm up under this. I'm of the understanding that our people have suffered under similar acts of white supremacy and even worse for over 500 years or almost 500 years. If you take it back to where it started on the other side of the continents, it's even deeper than that. So where does the cutoff, Stephen A. Smith? While you're saying too much time has passed for him to be held accountable for his participation or for us to question his integrity based upon that photograph, give us an idea of how far we can go back. Because as recently as when Colin Kaepernick chose to kneel while being employed by the NFL, Jerry Jones was comfortable going on record saying that anybody that plays for him, kneel, you don't play for me no more. So since you want to give him this credit for being a different type of individual than what we've seen him be at the age of 14 or 15, what evidence do you have that he has transcended from that mind frame? You can't say the fact that he's a professional sports owner and he employs us at a high rate, because we know even Donald Sterling, who also was a professional sports owner and employed us at a high rate, still had the mind frame that Jerry Jones apparently had at the age of 14 to 15. Remember, he told the white girl, don't bring none of them to my games, even though he was putting millions in their pockets. You're getting confused by the lights, Stephen A. Smith. You want to speak with such a profound non-Euro, Afro-based tone in your voice that just by the way you speak, you attempt to represent us on a Euro influence, yet still Nubian essence. I know what you try to bring across. You try to you're so corporate and so Euro on the way that's why all your peers are upset with the way you comment on us, and you try to borderline. You just told the people, oh, white people don't watch my show, it's gonna be black on black. You feel as if you are close enough to the borderline where you can pop back in our circles and explain to us why you are so whitewashed in front of the whole world. But I, from just an outside assessment, don't believe you contain that type. I think Wayne Brady is more of what you claim to be than what you are. Nick Cannon, these are individuals who for the longest came across as whitewashed, corny to us as the community and the culture. And then after a time of them, once they became more solidified and established within their careers and they were less easy to remove, you realize they exposed a whole nother side of them that was not acting. It was obviously always there because it was so naturally transmitted. And Stephen A. Smith, you seem to be on the opposite side of that. I believe you began normal like us, but some people get so caught up in what they accomplish amongst the others. Malcolm X got a word for it. Start with a 2 words phrase. Starts with an H, ends with an N. Actually, the second word starts with an N and ends with an A. The first word starts with an H and ends with an E. Once a lot of people establish a certain amount of approval from massa, being appropriate with your actual people has less appeal, interest. You don't feel motivated, obligated to. And that's just imagine, y'all, it's as simple as us being on a plantation and one of the more fairer ones amongst us that can speak well, more articulate, more charming, with the ability to be more charming. Stephen A. Smith speaks, studies, educates his way in the masses curriculum to an exalted position in comparison to his friends, family, peers, and counterparts. Once you in the plantation and you popping it with all of us, the idea is, look, man, Master like the way I pop this shit. So look, I'm finna sweet talk you to get up in that house, right? I'm finna peep the program, see what's going on. And as soon as I peep it, I'm finna run this game. And I'm finna, like, open the floodgates so y'all can come here and slice your stuff. We finna do our stuff. Or he could even be cold enough, shrewd enough to, like, not even let them know the plan, because somehow somebody might over-anticipate it, jump the gun, might try to put the pressure on him to push the button before time. And he might be willing to take the pressure of getting looked at as funny. But Stephen A., every time, unless he got a super master plan in the back of his hand, bro, you looking like one of them guys Malcolm X talked about. 2-word phrase. First word start with an H. Second word end with an E. I'm just saying. No, second word end with an A. First word start with an H, end with an E. Second word start with an N, end with an A. Nobody, just think about this, y'all. Just Shaquille O'Neal, literally, cuz sounds like somebody with less than I was going to say 3rd grade, but not to just be facetious. I want to be factual. With someone less than a high school education, he sounds like that. He sounds like someone that was less than an individual who was successful in high school, whether he got the accreditation or not by being a standout athlete. More so than anything, what Shaq is a freak of nature based on his genetics, if you just want to deal with the facts. But then he is melanated to the point where it would seemingly remind him of his blessing, his fortune in life. People with his pigmentation typically face more challenges in this society than those that don't have his actual pigmentation. So the fact that he doesn't talk like, and he is the epitome of what we see at the zoo or at the wild animal park, or even just when we look at footage from National Geographic, or we look at the internet and we see those that don't look like us out in the wild wrestling with bears and lions. So enthralled with an individual who is obviously physically more dominant than them. Someone that they cannot quite relate to based on experience. But because of your physicality that I am in awe of, I'm drawn towards you. And even though if we had to deal with one another, mano a mano, on any issue where I was wrong and you were right and I were violating you, there is no way I can handle you. I will treat you in such a fashion to where I will calm all that potential aggression into you, as to no matter how much I respect you, care about you, or love you, you would never turn what you are physically endowed with upon me in order to even secure your actual health. And if you would, for some reason, do it for your own personal self-preservation, we don't want you to be applying that to the plight of your people. So we're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. And that's what you got. Somebody who cannot articulate a sentence to the pleasure of a 12th grade English teacher, darker than most, utilizing an opportunity when someone who has come along as someone who is similar to him in the same industry as far as a superstar in the NBA, less melanated than you, Mr. O'Neal, takes it upon himself to post a link that referenced a lot of pertinent information to those that like us, that would cause us to be more confident in who we are, where we come from, and where we're going as individuals, if we were to just pay some attention to the link that he posted. You felt comfortable alongside another babbling buffoon idiot to call him an idiot, not realizing how much of an idiot you sounded just by stating that. And then, in the light of you stating that, research was done and evidence was presented that you yourself were involved for profit, for gain, in showing the same exact content in one of your establishments, a movie theater. You got paid. You got paid from the same content that you called him an idiot for posting, right? And then when that came up, I knew. I'm like, damn, I know Shaq got to be real enough. Cuz, got to be real enough, they got him. He got to come out and say something that would be lead toward a path of redemption in the position he took. This nigga is so much of an idiot, he came out and said, I don't give a fuck. Imagine that. Even, I hate to go biblical, but all this is biblical from the beginning, because the whole controversy is over biblical issues, who is who, and lineage and all that. So even the Bible says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. So Shaquille O'Neal threw his stone. He's such an idiot. I know for a fact he wasn't consciously aware of the fact that he had showed that film and benefited and profited off of it when he first made his statement. But just like we talked about in the past when we step in shit, just think about this. Me personally, from growing up all my life, I realized once you step in some dog shit, bro, unless you just got a pressure steam cleaner and you just one of them real cold niggas, man, the shoes is you're fucked. You don't, especially if you step in your car and let that shit get anywhere, cuz that shit, I don't care how much cleaning you do, you know how hard it is to get rid of that shit smell. So I don't care if I spent my last dollar on some shoes and they cost $300. If I step in some shit today, I throw that motherfucker out, it'll never get him immediately out. It's gone. And I have a parallel to that when I politic with my close peoples. I'm like, when we debating or we talking shit and a nigga realize he wrong, I've shared this concept to the point where we got a little phrase where, when like this saying I'm chopping up with you, we like, ooh, I'm like, nah, you know it's woo wop wop wop, and you like, ooh wop wop. You realize I know at the moment, I'm wrong. But instead of you just saying I'm wrong, you try to keep defending your position and explain yourself. I got a phrase amongst my close circle that is just, bro, step out the shit. How many niggas step in shit, realize they stepping in shit? Do you know what has to be on the other side of that shit for you to continuously just keep going once you stepped in shit? It had to be something very, very, very valuable, you know, on the opposite side of that shit. Because the first moment I smell shit or realize I stepped in shit, I do everything I can immediately think to eliminate the shit. And I do the same thing when it comes to conversation, ideas. I don't give a fuck how much extras I put on the way I feel. Once I realize I'm wrong or I stepped in some shit, I am immediately motivated to try to backtrack and get on, you know, the path of what's right and correct. But here goes Shaquille O'Neal, stepped in all that shit, calling somebody an idiot by promoting a product that he profited from. You stepped in some shit, Shaq. But we know you don't mind being shitty. Because being 7 foot plus, 300 plus pounds, darker than dark, illiterate as a motherfucker, your only motherfucking claim to fame is like a fucking circus animal. You can do some tricks that the white man is amazed by. Wow, look at this big, slow, dumb motherfucker. He physically is awesome. This is what your claim to fame is. And you so stupid, you don't realize you walking through shit just like an animal. Animals the only motherfuckers that walk through shit and don't mind, nigga. While you calling somebody an idiot, you're not only the biggest, physically large, biggest idiot amongst us, you are also the biggest idiot amongst us because you have one of the biggest platforms and you said the largest, ludicrous, dumb, big, idiotic statement you can say about the most reminiscent spirit we have of a Malcolm X in a time of challenge, a Muhammad Ali in a time of struggle, adversity, when the whole world is against him and somebody amongst us is faced with an opportunity to stand on principles. You called him an idiot. In the midst of doing that, you know you stepped in some shit. You know it stank. You stink. The only people you have standing on that side of the issues with you are the people you pledge loyalty to that have caused you to be a financial giant and also who have given you a badge. And you know all those institutions do not lie on the side of compliance and desire to see those like us shoot to the top as a community. They rather handpick selected ones that they feel they can trust not to pass on the accumulation of wealth onto. Just look how fucked we are, y'all. Just in a financial sense, in a generational sense. Michael Jackson, amongst us in
Snake Wood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
point blank, through no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I can tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my competition, never seeing them. I done trained my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be, yeah.
Black Box Productions.